So welcome everybody to session 6. We will be talking about 5G technology. And as you can see here, the question that I'm throwing at you is, should ROC-G promote 5G technology? Who wants to guess what ROC-G is?
Maybe it's like the SKT, one of those guys.
It's like a company?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me give you a hint. ROK. Have you heard of this before? Okay, so ROK or ROC is the.
Republic of Korea.
And then what's G then?
Network?
What?
That network?
What's G?
So like 5G, like 5G.
No, not 5G, G. ROC-G. There's a G after ROC. Republic of Korea, G. Government, thank you.
A Republic of Korea.
Government, yeah.
G?
So this is a common way to use in military or foreign affairs documentation. So a diplomat or a military personnel will use these acronyms, something like ROC-G, meaning ROC government, Korean government. If they want to use US government, they'll say USG. Does that make sense? And it's actually used. It's common. So that's why I used it too. But because I've served in the military and I know. But ROC-G is abbreviation for Republic of Korean Government or the government of Republic of Korea. Okay? So should the Korean government promote? What does that word mean? Promote. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Good.
Good thing. You're trying to say it's good. Promote 5G technology.
So like, is like ROC-G trying to make like 5G more widely available?
Yes, that's the idea. Now, is the ROC-G doing that right now? Is the Korean government supporting 5G, yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Did the Korean government support 4G before that? 5G, because 5G is a series, it's 5th generation. So there was 4th generation before that, yeah.
I don't know exactly about it, but I've seen more commercials about like 5G than 4G.
Probably because maybe you don't remember. I don't
No.
know. But yeah, so do you think that if Korean government is on board with the 5G movement and they're trying to promote it, do you think it's fair to assume that they've done that with 4G
Yes.
and 3G and 2G and 1G? Why do you think that is though? Why do you think Korea is so like on board with this new tech stuff?
Because we got this name called like we're the one of the fastest IT like the countries. We have that title, so we want to like protect it.
It is true. That is very true. We're kind of pot committed already, in that people already recognize Korea as one of
subway internet.
Yes. We have the widest coverage of internet service. Each household owns about 1.8 computers or something like that. So every house you'll have definitely one, and usually two. That's why it's 1.8, right? So we have a lot of computers. It's not just computers now. Everybody is using, cell phones, smartphones, and smartphone adaptation from the younger age. That's not new. Like now, over 90% of young people use. Of course they do. That's what's available. But old people using smartphones, that's another story. But Koreans, a lot of old people also use smartphones.
Yeah, like
so and we have crazy Wi-Fi. We have created crazy, connectivity. Anywhere you go, it's impossible.
yeah, in China,
It would be very hard for you to not find it. Does that make
yes,
sense?
like turn on VPN and like, but it's.
So we got speed, we got the infrastructure, we got people using it. So Korea has always been at the foreseat of these technological advances. Okay? So the point that I wanted to make from this particular week for this workshop, for this topic, the assumption must be, right, Korean government, we all know, is promoting 5G technology. They're saying it's the best thing ever, and we should all jump to the bandwagon. Coming from me, I must also have an opposite side. I must. Otherwise, why would I put it as a topic? If it's all good and happy and everybody's okay with it, why would this be a debate?
Oh, I think it's the one like for example, like China, they can like scan like people's like faces and use them as like IDs for they say COVID-19, but they're actually using 5G technology to track people down.
Ooh. That is one
That is
aspect.
just.
That is one aspect. Now, it's interesting that Jade mentioned this. If you guys check the thumbnail image for this particular workshop, this is exactly what he's talking about. This is a picture of IoT. Do you guys know what that is? IoT?
I heard of it.
Heard of this before? It stands for Internet of Things. Internet of Things.
Oh, so then the government can know where you are using 5G.
I guess depends on who has access to the data.
Yeah.
But the idea of IoT isn't, oh, let's make sure the government can track what we're doing. That's like a byproduct. That's an unhappy side effect. But initially, when they say, let's have IoT, so first let me explain to you what that is. Internet of Things means they want to make everything, every item connected to where?
To the server.
To internet. That's why Internet of Things. So why is that important? Right now, let's say, okay, let's just use that. My camera right now can be linked to Wi-Fi, and I can have like a remote. And does that make sense? But if it's also linked to the internet, then maybe I can just upload streams directly. Everything is about convenience and efficiency. The reason why people want to add these items to the internet is so that they can have better processing, better function, whatever it is. So if you're trying to say, oh, my microwave or my refrigerator is a smart refrigerator now, we can hook it up to the internet and then send messages and whatever and get recipes and stuff like that. That's all Internet of Things. It's all IoT.
Watching YouTube on your refrigerator.
Sure.
What?
Sure. Now, right now is all these electronic devices we use that connect to the internet, but what's to stop there? Like, why can't we just say, hey, let's have a chair that's connected to the internet?
Oh, and it moves for you. You don't have
Yeah,
to
maybe it has like exactly, like a wheel on the bottom, or it has a sensor that tells the server, hey, anybody sits down here, tell me. Does that make sense? So you have like a array of seats in a concert hall or whatever, and then how many seats are occupied or whatever. Then whatever it is, it's up to you guys how you apply this. Yes.
So I saw this like news article, like to do like IoT, you need to collect like personal information,
You kinda have
like
to.
data.
You kinda
So but like as you've seen like the Facebook example, like some people can like use them and like for not a good way and like just release the private information to other people. So that's one of the problems. I think.
Yes, that's a really important point. So we should talk about that. But before we talk about what bad people do to our data without our permission, that's a no-no. So obviously nobody likes that. But there are some things that we say, yeah, please give it to us. And turns out maybe it's not the best idea. Does that make sense? And I really want you to hone in on that specific domain as well. Yeah.
Also, just to add to like how why 5G could run 5G technology. In Korea, we also have Samsung, which is like a big part of Korea. I believe in a way it just represents Korea.
It is a representative, symbolic kind of a thing. Korea made it so that we're going to invest heavily on the internet at very early stages. So we built the infrastructure, all the highways that need to be, installed for the data to move around. We got that work done at very, very early stages. And we reap the benefit from it. Having ubiquitous internet access is awesome. It's really, really cool, but it comes at a price. And not a lot of people talk about this, and we need to. That's why I brought this up, okay? So let's move on to the next slide. If you click on this link here, it's the page for World Health Organization, WHO, and it's a page about electromagnetic fields. Electromagnetic fields. And what you want to understand about electromagnetic fields is that okay, so let's just look at this picture and then probably gives you a better idea. The entire spectrum here is all EMF. It's all EMF. From start to finish here, it's all EMF. If you see right in the middle, there's something called visible. Visible.
Oh.
This means it's visible light. You can see it. And they're the 7 colors of the rainbow. Red to violet. From red to violet, that's the 7 colors we get to see with our eyes. And that is also part of very small sliver, part of the EM fields. They also call it electromagnetic waves. You can call it waves, you can call it energy, you can call it fields, but WHO, they say fields, okay? But in any case, this is the entire spectrum, and obviously it's not conclusive because we don't know. It's possible that there's more, and it's possible that there's more in between, we just don't know. But this is what we have for now. Human knowledge is what we have for now. And right in the dead center, this is visible light. We can see 7 colors of the rainbow. Anything that goes past violet is ultraviolet, and then X-ray, then gamma rays. Anything before red is called infrared, and before that is microwave, and before that is radio waves. Radio wave is literally the waves that we use to play radio stations. You drive a car, you have a
Like
radio,
megahertz.
whatever. Yeah, there's a particular frequency that you tune into to get into that channel, right? They're using radio frequency waves. And the microwave at home that you have to heat up food, they use microwave frequency at this rate to heat up your food. So far so good? Yeah? So with EMFs, depending on where you're playing with, you can heat up food, you can send radio signals, right? But if you go all the way down here, you use X-rays to what? Scan your body, right? And if you go all the way to gamma ray, then it goes to a point where it can kill you. So past the violet part, this is ionizing radiation, and that's on the page here. And what you have to understand about ionizing is that it's faster, the frequency is high, so it's faster, and it can't go into long distances, but it's very strong. So strong that it can break molecular bonds. So you can get sick from it, okay?
Oh.
Yes.
This is kind of a random question, but then, is there something called ultra purple?
Ultraviolet.
But then what about ultra purple?
I don't know.
Because some people think it's purple, not violet.
Sure. But it's the same thing as, I don't know, like if you want to nitpick with the color schemes and say, hey, that's not violet, that's purple. Sure, but the point that you have to get from this is that the visible light that we have, the 7 colors of the rainbow, is only a sliver of the entire spectrum, okay? And after violet or purple, then it goes into ionizing radiation levels where it can break molecular bonds and it can harm you. If you go under the red, then it's infrared and microwave and radio wave. We use it right now.
But isn't like the cell phones we use all like the radio waves?
No, so that's why it's important. That's why 5G plays a part here, okay? So we're gonna move to the next slide. It's a really good question.